Hajimemashite. Thanks for coming back, folks. So I think today, we're gonna work on some music, but I'm gonna touch up on a mystery. Like nobody knew what actually happened to Tupac, right? Or we did. I think when I was in high school or junior high, this whole mystery came about. And I listened to R&B and hip hop, but the old school stuff. So I used to listen to Notorious B.I.G., Puff Daddy, and obviously Tupac Shakur. So in my experience growing up with multiple understandings of music, this is like the biggest mystery. Well, it wasn't really a mystery, but don't forget back in the day we didn't have iPhones to get verification or proof. There were a lot of things underground that were never really talked through. And on the streets, people, we all as a group of people, individuals, suspected that there was something going on with what had happened. First it was Notorious B.I.G., then it was Tupac, and there were a couple of other people in the group that kind of stayed close to the story. I'm not going to bring up names, but I do think that everybody focused on Puff Daddy. And I think now they have a little bit more evidence that the story has been resolved. Things are going to finalize and justice will be served. So I thought this was a cool starting point. Madonna had dated at one point, because I brought up Madonna, had dated at one point Tupac. And obviously Janet Jackson was in a movie with Tupac. So it's just a very interesting, all these people are connected. It's just you don't realize how small the world is until you kind of connect the dots, right? So that was I think that was the go-to news, the news discussion that's happening right now. Yeah, I like my R&B and hip hop, but I'm an old schooler. I like my old school stuff. There was a little bit more meaning behind a lot of the rap back in the day. And it is obviously, this is R&B month, right? This is the month that people are supposed to be representing R&B, the introduction, 20 years of R&B, I think, from what I know. So that was that's just basically it. And when I was growing up in the world of music or the development of music, I was a raver. We used to go to events and performances where Boy George was performing, and I was watching a performance with 9 Inch Nails and David Bowie at one point together, which was very interesting in when I was 15. So there were things that were happening back then that are not happening as much on a kind of a mellow level before. The prices have gone up for performances, and yeah, I just don't do those things anymore. I think once you hit 40 something, you come to self-realization. You want to become more than just the person that's there watching and supporting the musicians. You want to develop some skills, or I want to develop some skills that go beyond just going in and watching shows, because that's just not how I see it. So that's my take on celebrities for today. Yeah, I think it is 20 years of hip hop. This is the month. This is the month that people are celebrating right now. So that unsolved mystery is becoming more solved. I think they found the information or evidence in somebody's basement, which is very interesting. I'd like to hear more about it personally. So I'm keeping my eyes and ears peeled for more information on where that goes. Okay, now we're gonna switch over and let's see if we can work on a track. I'm gonna test it out on here on my portable today, because like I said, the room is a complete disaster. I'm not the other studio space. I've taken apart stuff and we're gonna just go through this here. I'm gonna make it real simple. We're not gonna do the whole, because the whole process of creating beats is gonna take me a little bit longer. And we're gonna just use loops for now because I still need to figure out some stuff here. Okay, so we got the bass. Here, make sure you have where you're supposed to be on, like, highlighted. Okay, that's cool. You can do this. So we're gonna record. So I did mention at one point a long time ago, I think I was 15 or 16, I was part of a band, and at the time I was taking drum lessons in school, and then somebody heard that somebody from the French school needed a drummer, and I just so happened to be a female. So I was kind of looped into a band at a young age. So I understood the value and the importance of a drummer. Drummers keep the beats and they make sure that the whole entire band is together and it has to be consistent. So something like this, you need to make sure that you're on point with the beats and the rhythms and stuff. So if you're gonna do like beats, make sure you have the beats down right. This is a sample. I can always go back and edit, but we're focusing on like drum type of house beats before you start the song. As I mentioned before, it's important to actually put the beats down before you start composing a song, because that is what's going to hold the song together. Whether it's the loops, whether it's the sample loops, and what I'm doing right now is we're going through the samples and we're just making the sounds off the samples, which you can do, or you can do it like manually. But Logic has made it very easy to actually kind of just go in and use the samples, which I'm doing now. I've gotten a little bit lazy. I used to do manual like beats and stuff back in high school. I'm gonna have to see if I can find my old songs, of the old songs that I had done way back in the day, to what sounds like something relatively okay now. Even the way you construct a song on the DAWs is different. Like, I can tell you that for sure. The 80s versus now, very different. Yeah, it's a bit busy. That could work. So we're gonna drag this over. We're gonna drag this boom one over, like I was doing just now. You're gonna drag it over and you're gonna send it. Create a sample. It says a quick sample, drum machine designer. Let's just do that so we don't make life complicated right now. Okay, so now, and oh, you can see my hand. So back in the day, they didn't have this. You couldn't hold the sound down, and you had to actually create. Yeah, they made it real easy. This you had to actually. Yeah, it never was like this before. This is a whole new. This is a whole new thing. This has 100% changed the way production is made, and anybody at this stage could probably create their own tracks and beats and stuff. So this makes life a lot easier, and literally you don't have to go into a studio space. You just need to set up a little tiny one and off you go. And obviously, make sure you set up a SoundCloud, because then you have proof that it's yours and you have your own personal page, and it's like considered a website. So let's see what it sounds like on here. Mute just means you can put this all on silent. So if you want to just redo it again. Yeah, let's start over. So there are ways to, I'm just showing you guys how to just create beats and stuff, I guess, today. Since we're talking about hip hop and R&B, this is a good place to start. Okay, we make it a little bit more R&B. Okay, so then put those on mute. You can always start over again. Okay, let's add that. You're going to add that to a new sample it. Okay, so okay, so you don't need to use that all the time, but okay, so we're gonna just record that. Just gonna keep it simple. I'm sure you can go back in like you would in the normal software and just adjust it if you want to. I should probably press that and test it out. But let's start this off. Okay, so let's see what we can come up. So then after that, you come up with like a melody, like I was speaking in. Okay, I like that. Okay, and when it comes down to actually creating a composition, like don't just play any old thing. You have to know like your key signatures, because sometimes I've heard rap out there that sort of works and then it's a disaster because the melody just does not match. So if you're going to do rap and R&B, make sure the melody matches with like the sounds, key signature, and where you're, understand the music theory, because I have really heard some horrible stuff out there, and I just listened to it. I'm like, these guys did not practice their theory. They don't understand what's going on. They got the beat down, but the melodies are just not great. So first things first, guys, make sure you have the theory down, right? Okay, so that we're going to use that. E minor. We're going to keep it on E minor, okay? Because E minor is kind of cool. Okay, so we're gonna stick to E minor. So let's find another sound. So we're gonna do chords now. Let's try chords. So we have a basic melody. Let's try a chord. Let's just play. You have to know what triad you're playing in your scales in order to get the beats, in order to get... Remember I was talking about intervals and circle of fifths and inversions and oh my goodness. I'll show you where to find all that stuff because, you know, you cannot make a good song without understanding the theory. And I have, like I said, I have heard some things that I have questioned in the past, and I'm like, no, this needs to be worked on, folks. So I'm giving you the know-how on YouTube of how to go about doing this by breaking it down, okay? I cannot bear it anymore. I have to tell and say to people how to do it from scratch. Okay, so let's do... Okay, so let's do that. I'm just using 3 chords. 1, 2, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 chords. Bit of a glitch there. Okay. Okay, so and it automatically, so I'm going to leave it there for just now. To show you guys how to start a track. Recommendation is to start with a beat and then start adding on the layers because you can't do a melody without the beat. And as somebody that had played the drums or played drums in a band before, I know that the important part to start like a performance off or to start a song off would definitely be starting with the beat. So it also implies with creating a song. And as you can see, they've simplified the way you go about doing it. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. When I was doing production back in 1998, they didn't have all the detailed parts here. You would literally have to go on the keyboard and create the beats individually, like one section at a time. And in this case, they're actually giving you the beats. You can hold the note down and actually create the beat from the sample that they've already given you. So this is already advanced from what I remember doing. It's not quite rap, it's not quite R&B, but it has the rap and R&B type of beat to it in the background. Arigatou gozaimashita, matashita, sayonara, jane bye-bye. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna put down the music theory once again so you guys have, I've given you guys the theory already in a couple of videos. So I'm bringing all of them together into this platform. I'm not getting paid for this yet, guys, but I'm hoping the more people subscribe to me, the more things can possibly happen. And this is my dream, to be involved in the music, running my own business and developing my own thing as a female, because I don't think enough females are doing it for themselves. And you know, I'm not going to be going into male studio spaces. I've already been through that. I don't need to go through that again. I'm quite happy doing it on my own. Arigatou gozaimashita, and see you guys in the next one.